Little Red Riding Hood, A Christmas Story, a magical adventure of courage and Christmas cheer. Once upon a time, there was a cheerful girl living in a small and cute house in a snow-covered mountain village. This village resembled a fairy tale land with its snow-covered forests and sweet silence. Everyone in the village was friends with each other, and the warmth of these friendships was given as a gift at Christmas time. The little girl was known for her red cap and won the love of those around her with her courage. Everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. One Christmas Eve, Little Red Riding Hood was helping her mother in the kitchen. Together they were making a wonderfully fragrant Christmas cake. As the smell of cinnamon and ginger filled the house, her mother suddenly stopped, turned to the girl and said, "My daughter, a letter has arrived from Santa Claus. A magical Christmas hat has been lost in your grandmother's house. You must find it and return it to Santa Claus, or Christmas may not happen this year." Little Red Riding Hood nodded excitedly. "Of course, Mother. I will do this." Her mother handed her a basket filled with gingerbread cookies and a thermos of hot cocoa. "Take these treats to your grandmother, but be careful in the forest," she warned. "Go straight to your grandmother's house without getting lost." Little Red Riding Hood set off, filled with both excitement and a little curiosity. The forest was enchanting with its snow-covered branches and calm air. However, Little Red Riding Hood did not yet know what she would encounter until she reached her grandmother's house. As usual in the forest, all living things were filled with excitement and curiosity about Christmas. Birds gathered in the branches, rehearsing to sing Christmas songs. Rabbits were hopping in the snow, checking the carrots they had hidden for Christmas Day. Squirrels were placing shiny acorns in tree holes, hoping that Santa Claus would notice them as he passed by. Everyone was in great preparation because they believed that this Christmas would be the most magical Christmas ever. The branches of the trees were covered in snow, but a light glow was spreading on the branches. Suddenly, a thin bell rang, and a tiny creature with wings like snowflakes appeared from among the branches, scattering sparkles. It was a little Christmas fairy. "Oh, Little Red Riding Hood, how good that you came," said the fairy. "There is a magical Christmas hat hidden in your grandmother's house. This hat was part of Santa Claus's magic power. When worn, it could grant wishes and turn darkness into light. However, in the wrong hands, it carried a dangerous power that could destroy the Christmas spirit. So the hat had to be kept safe. But be careful. There is someone else who wants to take that hat. The Ice Wolf." "The Ice Wolf?" asked Little Red Riding Hood, her eyes wide. She paused for a moment and continued with a look of astonishment. "How is such a thing possible? Destroy the Christmas spirit?" "That's right," said the fairy. "The Ice Wolf wants to take possession of the magical hat and create his own cold and dark world. His dream is to destroy the joy and warmth of Christmas, to turn the whole world into a land of ice. The hat can use its power to freeze everyone's hopes and wishes. So the hat must be kept safe and returned to Santa Claus." Little Red Riding Hood was both shocked and a little scared by what she had heard. But at the same time, a spark of courage had risen within her. "Okay," she said with determination, "I'll do my best to get this hat back to Santa Claus." "Don't worry," said the fairy. "I'll help you along the way." Little Red Riding Hood began to walk more boldly through the forest with the help of the Christmas fairy. As she passed through the snow-covered trees, she watched the excitement of the animals around her for Christmas and found her way with the fairy's light. But she didn't know when and where the Ice Wolf would appear before her. Grandma's house was in the deepest and most beautiful part of the forest. It was built on a small hill and surrounded by pine trees. The ice hanging from its roof and the window sills covered with snow turned this little house into a fairy tale land. Little Red Riding Hood and the fairy reached there by following a sparkling path. This path sparkled throughout the night thanks to the fairy's magic dust. Snow-covered flowers and red birds resembling Christmas ornaments accompanied Little Red Riding Hood on their journey along the path. The fairy warned Little Red Riding Hood, "This is a magical place, but we must be careful. The ice wolf may have come here." Little Red Riding Hood took the fairy's warning seriously and continued to walk cautiously. When they arrived at Grandma's house, curiosity and a slight fear filled her. The environment in front of the house was extraordinarily quiet. Grandma's chair was empty and no sound could be heard except for a slight movement coming from the fireplace. "Where is Grandma?" thought Little Red Riding Hood. Her eyes quickly darted to every corner of the room. The blanket by the fireplace had been carefully folded, but her grandmother's chair was empty. "I wonder if she went out," she muttered. Just then, the fairy noticed a note hanging above the fireplace. She glided excitedly through the air and picked up the note and read, "My dear granddaughter, I'm out for a moment to collect firewood. Keep the hat safe. With love, your grandmother." The fairy was wandering around the room looking for clues when suddenly she turned toward the closet. "Wait! I think there's something here," she said excitedly. When they opened the closet door, a glowing magical hat appeared from inside. There was a thin halo of light around the hat, and it gave off a slight vibration as if it were about to tell them something. Little Red Riding Hood asked in surprise, "This is really magical. I wonder why my grandmother hid this here." Just then, the door flew open and the ice wolf burst in. His eyes were bright and his howl echoed through the house. "Give me that hat!" she roared. Despite her fear, Little Red Riding Hood mustered up her courage. "No, this hat belongs to Santa Claus, and we need to save Christmas," she said with determination. The fairy suddenly glowed and used her magical power to turn the ice wolf into a snow statue. The wolf was completely incapacitated. Little Red Riding Hood turned to the fairy and thanked her. "We saved the spirit of Christmas. Now we have to take this hat to Santa Claus." Little Red Riding Hood, her grandmother, and the fairy managed to deliver the magical hat to Santa Claus. Santa Claus welcomed them with a big smile and said, "I am grateful to you for saving Christmas this year." The magical hat was the source of Santa Claus's magical power. This magic was used to spread the Christmas spirit around the world and bring joy to everyone's hearts. However, in the wrong hands, this power could be destructive. That is why the return of the hat was so important. After Santa Claus placed the hat in its special place, he took a deep breath and said with relief, "The Christmas spirit is safe. Thank you all." That night, Little Red Riding Hood, her grandmother, Santa Claus, her mother and the fairy gathered around Santa Claus's warm fireplace. Santa Claus spoke in a voice full of laughter. "You are the heroes of this year." The fairy projected a glowing Christmas tree onto the ceiling, emitting a magical light. This image symbolized the hopes and wishes of the children. As everyone gazed in awe at the sight, the magic and love of Christmas filled their hearts. That night, they all sang songs together joyfully and made a promise to each other. "We will remember the magic and love of Christmas forever." Dear children, remember the true magic of Christmas is love and courage. Always don't be afraid to help your loved ones and do good. I wish you all a happy, joyful, and magical Christmas. May your dreams come true and your hearts be filled with happiness.